Good Wednesday morning. A new round of dangerous weather overnight.
Taking aim at millions up and down the East Coast. It's July 29th. This is today. Destructive storms. Torrential rain and widespread flooding soaked the Northeast overnight. Parts of the region bracing for even more today. While farther south, a powerful tornado tears across Maryland, causing damage and power outages. We'll have the very latest and your full forecast, including where that brutal heat wave is about to smash record highs. Breaking overnight, surprise attack. The Pentagon saying it thwarted a new round of Iranian missiles aimed at U.S. forces in the Middle East, ending a days-long pause in the war. So what's next, and where do peace talks stand after President Trump hailed their progress? We're live at the White House. Inside the investigation, a new Netflix documentary released overnight shedding more light on the Idaho college murders. From the moment police arrived on the scene,
we're going to need everybody. We got 4 deceased.
To the family's years-long fight for answers.
Justice would only be if the kids came back, and that doesn't work that way.
We'll take a closer look. Music with a message. Pope Leo hosting a global concert for peace at his private summer residence today as he gets set to open its majestic grounds to the public. NBC's Tom Yamas is there live with a rare look inside its 400-year history. Those stories, plus we have a winner. Someone's waking up $800 million richer after that big lottery drawing overnight. But have no fear, another $663 million is up for grabs today. We'll have everything you need to know. And here for it. Mumford & Sons, one of the most popular bands on the planet, with the Grammy Awards to prove it, taking over our plaza for a special can't miss concert today, Wednesday, July 29th, 2026.
From NBC News, this is Today with Savannah Guthrie and Craig Melvin from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Love to see those faces. Yeah. Good morning and welcome to Today on this Wednesday morning. We're certainly glad you're with us. I'm Chanel Jones alongside Hallie Jackson. Savannah remains on assignment for NBC, and Craig's family, he was supposed to be here, but then he experienced some travel delays from those storms, so he'll be back tomorrow.
And I know he would be bummed to miss the incredible crowd on the plaza for the big concert. I am thrilled. I would pay to do it.
Listen,
this is so cool.
Rain or shine, these folks have been lined up all night long. And the good news is it looks like the rain is ending here just in time for our concert, really after another night of severe storms. In fact, take a look. This is the scene just south of Baltimore, down trees and power lines.
Across parts of the Northeast, we saw hourly rainfall rates above 1.5 inches. And in Monroe, New Jersey, a man was hospitalized after being struck by lightning.
As we said, it's not over yet. Around 13 million are under flood watches today from here in New York into parts of New England.
Another concern, of course, not just the rain, but the intense heat that people are still feeling coast to coast. Alerts posted again today for nearly 75 million folks. Some of those alerts are now being extended into next week.
We have it all covered for you, starting with those storms. And NBC's Emily Akeda, who's just to our north in Muncie, New York. Emily, good morning.
Chanel and Hallie, good morning to you. That same system that devastated parts of the Midwest overnight, carving out a path of destruction in the Northeast. You can see this massive tree uprooted and practically swallowing the car behind me. The force of the winds and rains at one point knocking out power to hundreds of thousands of people on the East Coast. This morning, millions of Americans bracing for more rain and flooding after downpours soaked the Northeast. Storms battering multiple states with several inches of rain. Wind and rain blasting New York, flooding streets, and in nearby New Jersey, the water reaching waist high. Residents pushing stalled out cars and navigating whirlpools of debris. Rescue crews out there and in Pennsylvania, where cars struggled through the streets and families and pets were pulled to safety by boat. The wind also a concern. Rare funnel clouds spotted in Tennessee, Virginia, and West Virginia, and
and a reported tornado in Maryland ripping into this building. The severe weather also prompting ground stops at major airports from D.C. to Boston, with more than 10,000 flight disruptions snarling air traffic.
So we were supposed to leave at 5 o'clock. We're now leaving at 10.
In the Midwest, cleanup efforts are underway after a devastating EF3 tornado that produced wind gusts up to 165 miles an hour left communities unrecognizable. Bob Wolfel grateful his wife is alive after her truck was thrown the length of a football field.
So very, very blessed.
Another miracle being celebrated after a teenage lifeguard was seen navigating treacherous surf in California to pull a 10-year-old boy to safety. Ryder Williams will be honored at the White House for his life-saving efforts in dangerous conditions.
Pretty incredible efforts there. Back here in New York at LaGuardia Airport, some 50% of flights have been canceled yesterday. Across the country, more than 10,000 flights were canceled or delayed, and with more heavy rain expected from New York to Maine today. Those travel headaches are likely to linger, Chanel.
Have to be patient. All right, Emily, thank you.
Joining us now and tracking it all weekend today, meteorologist Angie Lastman, who's in for Al. Hey, Angie, lots going on.
Yeah, lots going on. We do have some improvements, ladies, in some spots. New York and points south, you're going to see a better day today, but notice that line of really heavy rain still centered across parts of New England and impacting folks when it comes to the flooding concerns. 13 million people still under these flood alerts at this hour. They stretch across New England, and they're going to be with us through at least the better part of our day today as more of that intense rain kind of focuses across this region. Notice that area of low pressure still continues spinning right over the Northeast, so we're still going to be even unsettled into tomorrow, but even more improvements as most of that flood risk will start to ease as this system moves away. But you'll still notice a couple of these kind of lingering showers for your Thursday across New England. The flooding concern not easing just yet, though. Today we still have the flash flood risk moderate across parts of Vermont, stretching through Massachusetts and down through Connecticut, Hartford, Northampton, all included in that, with more of these kind of really impressive rainfall rates on tap. And by the time we get through at least tomorrow, we'll pick up another potentially 2 to 3 inches in some spots and localized amounts up to 5 inches. Meanwhile, the heat also getting our attention. We'll see that continue to build across parts of the Southwest, and the humidity really kind of oppressive across the Gulf Coast. 107 rather for Houston for what it'll feel like this afternoon. We've got 107 for the heat index in Little Rock today. Actual temperatures will be well into the 90s across parts of the Rockies, parts of the Southwest and the Gulf Coast, and feeling much warmer than that in a lot of those spots even into tomorrow and beyond. Notice Phoenix 112 for your actual temperature. There's a potential for a whole lot of records to be broken across many of these regions over the next couple of days, ladies.
All right, Angie, thank you. Now to breaking news from the Middle East overnight. New fighting erupting between the U.S. and Iran, with the Pentagon saying they thwarted a surprise attack launched by Tehran. And it came just hours after President Trump said the two sides were having, quote, very good talks. NBC's senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez has the latest. Gabe, good morning.
Chanel, good morning. President Trump this morning telling Fox News that the U.S. will now retaliate against Iran. Quote, we'll be hitting them hard. They're going to take a beating, he says, while adding that Iran-backed militias are a cancer on the world. The war the president had predicted would last 4 to 6 weeks is now entering its 6th month. Overnight, the Iran war flaring up again. After a days-long pause in direct strikes between the two countries, U.S. Central Command says Iran launched multiple ballistic missiles in an attempted surprise attack on American forces in the Middle East. Adding the missiles were successfully intercepted. Iran says it targeted U.S. forces in Jordan in response to America's, quote, hostile actions. Meanwhile, CENTCOM also confirming overnight U.S. and Saudi armed forces jointly conducted strikes in Iraq against Iran-aligned terrorists. Though just hours earlier, President Trump had touted progress in peace talks, while again threatening strikes against Iran's major bridges and power plants if there was no long-term agreement, telling Fox News,
I think we have a very strong position right now. They know I'm going to do that if they don't make a deal. The bridges are going to be gone.
The president also meeting face-to-face at the White House with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for the first time since the war began. Earlier in the day, the president brushing off Israel's concerns about Iran trying to rebuild its nuclear program at one of its key facilities, Pickaxe Mountain.
I don't need Bibi to tell me that. Bibi's telling me that because he wants me to stay involved. I know exactly what's going on at Pickaxe. It's not a big problem.
Netanyahu Netanyahu now insisting their alliance is strong.
It was one of the best meetings that we've had.
While questioning the eventual success of U.S. diplomacy with Iran.
I'm skeptical about the deal, and I say it openly.
President Trump also meeting separately in the Oval Office with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, who says they spoke about acquiring more Patriot interceptor missiles for his country's ongoing war with Russia.
I shared what we need, our needs. I shared it with the president today.
Overnight, the Senate taking the first steps to pass a sweeping Russian sanctions bill named after the late Senator Lindsey Graham, who championed it. The bill would place new sanctions on Russian officials and allow the White House to impose tariffs on countries that purchase Russian oil and gas. It is not clear when the Senate will hold a vote on final passage, but senators are set to leave town for a recess at the end of next week. Chanel.
All right, Gabe, thank you.
Meantime, the spotlight is on Capitol Hill this morning, where Dr. Anthony Fauci, who helped lead the U.S. response to COVID, is appearing in front of a Senate committee, a hearing that is expected to be contentious after the public release of entries from Dr. Fauci's personal journal. Our Monica Alba has that story. Hey, Mon, good morning.
Good morning, Hallie. Dr. Fauci became a household name during the COVID pandemic, serving both President Trump and President Biden as a top public health expert. But it's his private reflections that are now getting attention after a Republican senator posted them online as part of an ongoing probe into the origins of the virus. All of that, the backdrop for a surprise decision from Dr. Fauci on Capitol Hill today. This morning, Dr. Anthony Fauci appearing before the Senate, but refusing to answer questions.
I will invoke my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Claiming Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky is aiming to embarrass and intimidate him after Paul published the infectious disease expert's personal journal. The two have clashed for years, most notably over whether COVID-19 leaked from a lab in China or came from a market in Wuhan featuring exotic animals.
Well, I would just suggest that he tell the truth, and if he tells the truth, he has no liability.
In January of 2020, weeks before the world shut down, Fauci wrote, "Now we know the market was not the source, it was the amplifier." Having said that, somewhere the virus jumped from animals to human. In the past, Fauci has said he was open to the lab leak theory.
I have a completely open mind about that.
Still, Senator Paul posting he'll be asking Fauci under subpoena about what he calls the COVID cover-up. Fauci, in the more than 1,100 released pages, also reflecting on his newfound fame, including conversations with celebrities like Barbra Streisand, who asked about vaccines, and Julia Roberts, who called him her personal hero. Fauci writing, "It is not hyperbole to say that today I am the most famous and talked about person in the country, and one of the most recognizable." Throughout the entries, Fauci makes his feelings about President Trump known, calling him a true embarrassment and saying he was spewing nonsense in the weeks before the 2020 election, shortly after the president had been hospitalized for COVID, and when Mr. Trump said he was considering firing Fauci.
Don't tell anybody, but let me wait till a little bit after the election.
President Trump on Tuesday.
I grew tired of him. I wasn't very close to him. I dealt with him very little. I didn't agree with many of the things he said.
Now, in one of his last acts before leaving office, former President Biden issued Dr. Fauci a preemptive pardon in anticipation of future political targeting. But Republicans argue that wouldn't have applied to any new statements made today. Hallie?
We'll be tracking that. Monica, thank you.
To the economy now. The Federal Reserve set to announce its next decision on interest rates later today, at a time when Americans continue to deal with high gas prices and inflation. NBC's business correspondent Brian Chung has that story. Brian, good morning to you. What are you expecting?
Yeah, good morning, Chanel. Most economists expect the Federal Reserve to hold steady on interest rates as they have been throughout all of 2026. The challenge here is policymakers are trying to figure out the impact on prices from the war with Iran, especially as oil and gas prices continue to remain volatile. Now, the challenge is that even if the Fed does hold pat on interest rates today, they could still hike interest rates later on this year to try to address that potential inflation. And I should point out a real wild card here is going to be Kevin Warsh, the newly minted head of this central bank after the president appointed him. Could he try to corral some of his colleagues into delivering a surprise interest rate hike today? That is something that some economists say is a real possibility. If that happens, you would imagine that would draw the ire of President Trump, who has been very vocal in wanting lower interest rates, all of which should make the decision as well as the press conference happening right here in Washington, D.C. later on this afternoon so closely watched.
So, Brian, put this in really human terms for people who are looking at their budgets. They're feeling the pressure of prices going up. What does it mean for them?
Yeah, Hallie. Well, this would be a double whammy if the Federal Reserve does hike interest rates later on this year, or even surprises with an interest rate hike today. And that is because that would lead to higher borrowing costs for things like your mortgage rates, your credit card rates, as well as your auto loan rates, which are all dependent on what the Federal Reserve does out of this building right here in Washington, D.C. Mortgage rates are already at 6.76%, flirting with 7% through most of this summer as the war with Iran really broke out. So the challenge is you now have higher borrowing costs at the same time where you have higher prices at the pump, with the current national average, according to AAA, at $4.09. That is a far cry and much higher than the pre-war average nationwide of $2.98, Hallie.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
We have more to get to this morning, including a special event being hosted by Pope Leo today, a global concert for peace featuring the voices of Andrea Bocelli and a choir of children from all around the world. Our nightly news anchor, Tom Yamas, is there. He's joining us now. Tom, good morning. You have the privilege of being at the Pope's summer residence. It's incredibly exciting. Give us an idea of what we should expect today.
Hey, Hallie, so great to be with you this morning. Yes, this used to be private up until now. This is where popes have come for centuries to get away from it all, to get away from the Vatican and Rome. This is Castel Gandolfo, that area just outside of Rome. This is the Borgo L'Adalto Sea, as these special gardens are called. Pope Francis, actually, the predecessor to Pope Leo XIV, wanted to open this up, and I want to show this to you a little bit more. He said this garden right here, and this spans more than 135 acres, is where nature meets man meets art, that each of them needs each other to form these beautiful gardens. More than 5,000 plants, 300 trees, again, over 135 acres. And this used to be closed off, but Pope Francis wanted to open it to the public. He wanted everyone to see that. And in that effort, Pope Leo XIV is doing the same. And so now he's hosting a concert for peace. And I want to show you exactly where this is happening. It's going to be with Andrea Bocelli and a choir of more than 160 children from war-torn areas all over the world, including parts of underserved communities in Italy as well. We're getting a sneak peek of this concert for peace right now. You'll notice that yellow chair right there, Hallie, that has a cover over it. You can imagine who's going to sit there. That'll be Pope Leo XIV. And if we can walk over here a little bit, right here will be the choir of 160 singing with tenor Bocelli. The Pope Leo, music is a very important part of his life. And he wanted to bring the children here, and really the world here, to hear them sing, to put a focus on peace. He wants to talk about the wars in Ukraine, what happened in Gaza, and of course, the war in Iran. The Pope is trying to play peacemaker in his role as head of the Catholic Church. And this is one of his first major events, which is going to be broadcast exclusively on NBC and Telemundo. We are looking forward to that concert later today.
Wow. The grounds are just absolutely beautiful. And Tom, on that note, you're scheduled to have a unique moment with Pope Leo. What do you hope to learn from him?
You know, there's so many questions to ask, Chanel, right? There's so much going on in the world right now. But most importantly, we have the world's first American Pope, and we have an American president. And at times, the American president, President Trump, of course, has come after Pope Leo. So I'm curious about that relationship. It's been reported that they have yet to actually even speak on the phone. I'm going to try to see if that is still the case. Of course, Secretary of State Marco Rubio and the Vice President have met with Pope Leo, but the head of the United States and the head of the Catholic Church have yet to meet, and they're both Americans. So I'm curious about that relationship, and also what else he wants, how he hopes to bring peace across the world. He brought President Zelensky here from Ukraine to try to hammer out some type of peace deal, to give them some type of guidance to make peace with Russia, and also migrants all over the world, not just in the United States, but here in Europe as well, have been a big push for the church in trying to fight for them and to make sure that they're treated with human rights. So we hope to see what the Pope will tell us, and we hope to see what he says here, I should say, in this beautiful concert.
We will be watching. We're glad to have you with us this morning. Thank you, Tom. You can watch Pope Leo's Concert for Peace today, 1 o'clock Eastern, right here on NBC. And Tom will share his visit with the Pope tonight on Nightly News.
All right. Meanwhile, someone in Florida is waking up this morning $800 million richer. That is because a single jackpot-winning ticket for last night's Mega Millions drawing was sold in the Sunshine State. It is the biggest lottery prize of the year so far. So let's take a look at the winning numbers. Here they are: 34, 48, 49, 59, 70, and the Mega Ball is 12. Now, there was also a $5 million winner in Illinois and a $3 million winner in New York, so check those tickets. By the way, tonight's Powerball jackpot is up to $663 million. So if you missed out on Mega Millions, you still have a chance.
You're telling me there's a chance.
Good
That's
luck.
good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's get back to Angie for the rest of your forecast now.
Guys, we've got some nice conditions in some spots, hitting the lottery, I guess you could say, across parts of the Great Lakes where you're finally getting a little bit of relief, some sunshine, temperatures into the 80s. That's fairly mild. No relief in sight across parts of the South where temperatures will be into the 90s, if not triple digits. Let's look at the weather across the country. We'll get to your local forecast in the next 30 seconds.
Back at 7:30 with a fun crowd on the
Look at
plaza,
'em.
counting down to a special midweek concert from Mumford & Sons. So, listen in the background there. Why are we playing the Ted Lasso theme? Well, because Marcus Mumford wrote and performed it. I didn't realize that.
It's so
Coming
cool.
up on your PSSP, we'll have a new look at that show's highly anticipated return.
All of my interests, Chanel, are colliding here this
all
morning.
coming together. Happy you're here
exactly.
this morning.
Thank you. Before we get to all of that, we've got a busy half hour of news ahead, starting with the news spotlight now on a high-profile case.
A new Netflix documentary on the Idaho college murders premiered overnight, featuring new interviews with investigators and family members of the victims. Its release just days after the convicted killer moved to withdraw his guilty plea.
Our Stephanie Gosk is here now with more. Hey, Steph, good morning.
Hey guys, good morning. That three-part docuseries outlines the crime and investigation, but it also tells the stories of these four young people who were just going to school in a small town in Idaho. Their families now left heartbroken, still with no answer to the question, why?
13, I think we have a homicide.
The details of the 2022 murders were hard to fathom. Four University of Idaho friends stabbed to death in an off-campus house nearing the end of fall semester.
We're going to need everybody. We got 4 deceased.
In a new three-part Netflix docuseries released overnight, family members describe the early confusion.
I'm calling Kaylee. I'm calling Maddie. I'm not getting through.
And then the pain when it becomes clear what happened.
Were they shot? She says, no, they were stabbed. And I was like, what?
Xana Kernodle's father and sister were told in the police station.
What do you do in that situation? Like, no one knows. So that was really, really hard.
Brian Kohberger is currently serving 4 consecutive life sentences after pleading guilty to the quadruple homicide last year, a move that took the death penalty off the table and did not require the criminology student to share a motive for the murders, something that has frustrated some of the victims' families.
Tell all of us parents why he did it if he was going to get the plea.
But authorities say even after years of investigating, Kohberger's motive has never come to light.
We don't know why. We don't know why these 4. We don't know why this house. I don't think we'll ever know.
This week, Kohberger grabbed headlines announcing he wanted to withdraw his guilty plea and go to trial, something the court will likely not allow, according to legal experts. Still, even before the latest filing, the Gonsalves family has maintained they wanted a jury to decide Kohberger's guilt.
Justice would only be if the kids came back, and that doesn't work that way. The kids are gone. They're never coming back. But I want him to die.
But the family and friends of the 4 young victims, Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle, also say they want to keep their memory alive.
All of these kids had people that they really loved and cared about. Remember them for exactly what they should be remembered for.
And keeping their memory alive, Steph. In so many ways, this documentary focuses more on the victims than the crime itself, right?
Yeah, I mean, when that crime happened, the country was transfixed, but then it was the investigation, then it was the trial, all of that focusing on Brian Kohberger. The families who took part in this documentary say they really wanted an opportunity to take that spotlight away from him and put it back on the victims, their sons and daughters and sisters and brother, that is why they took part in it. I also should mention that we reached out to Brian Kohberger's attorneys and they did not get back to us.
Okay, Stephanie Goss, thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Well, there's much more ahead, including Some good news this morning for tens of millions of Americans with high blood pressure. What you need to know about the potentially life-saving help that could soon be available.
Plus, a rather surprising new push happening now to help out one of the country's most beloved and adorable creatures. And Kaylee is checking this one out. Hey, Kaylee.
Hey there. So if you need the internet to gift you a little pick-me-up, here's some advice. Search for marmots, but fair warning, you could land on OnlyFans. Coming up, the uncensored and G-rated marmot content that's trying to save important research. Stay with us.
Back at 7:39 this morning on In Depth Today, a beloved animal on the receiving end of a creative idea.
Let's call it a very creative idea to try to fund some research for the yellow-bellied marmot, those furry creatures with a knack for going viral. A group in Colorado is turning to a rather unexpected source. Kaylee Hartung is here with this one. Hey, Kaylee.
Hey, y'all. So here's the thing. Marmots, they are responsible for countless memes and millions of views on social media. But beyond their general cuteness, marmots are also good subjects to study how animals respond to a changing environment. So researchers are thinking way out of the box, hoping that clicks will lead to tips.
It's a hard knock life for marmots, being mistaken in movies.
Oh, nice marmot.
And nature.
I think it's a beaver. No, it's not a beaver.
But researchers in Colorado are betting that the largest members of the squirrel family can become unforgettable online stars.
Marmots are fascinating characters because they are charismatic. It's a soap opera.
Dr. Daniel Blumstein's team calls themselves the Marmoteers.
There you go.
For 65 years, the Rocky Mountain Biological Laboratory has studied yellow-bellied marmots, one of 6 species found in North America. Now, in the wake of federal funding cuts, they're getting creative.
Marmots have money troubles, and I figured, why not we launch an OnlyFans site? I brought that idea back to the lab. One of my students is like, great idea. Someone else screamed out, Only Marms. I'm like, oh, yeah.
The wholesome OnlyFans page, Only Marms. Free to subscribe, but run by tips.
What kind of market is there for marmots on OnlyFans?
This is G-rated. Cute animals doing things.
The team also collaborating with a local brewery for a special edition beer. 7 months of the year, the soccer ball-sized rodents are in hibernation. But every summer, they're on a mission to pack on the pounds before their next season of slumber. And much like the Fat Bear Week at Katmai National Park in Alaska that's captivated millions around the world, the Marmoteers are launching the first ever Fat Marmot Week in August, a survival of the not-so-fittest competition among true hibernators to see who can put on the most weight and be crowned the chunkiest of them all.
But the epitome of a marmot is one that looks like a bread loaf by the end of the season. Body positivity is all about marmots. I mean, you want these guys to get obese.
So far, the first contender in the ring, Dan's Hat, an adult female described as a cool aunt. Her name inspired by the markings on her coat that look eerily similar to Dr. Blumstein's cowboy hat.
We are searching for one thing and one thing only.
And while these funny herbivores are no strangers up in the mountains or on the internet, there's still more to learn about what makes marmots so wildly entertaining.
Aren't they adorable?
They are.
How does this competition work?
Okay, so voting for Fat Marmot Week, it starts on August 24th. And talking to Dr. Blumenstein, he says he already has a front runner in the competition. Let me introduce you to Dawn.
Okay.
And Dawn, I am told this photo was taken a month ago.
Love her.
Has put on a new fur coat, looks even fatter today. This just might be your winner for Fat Marmot Week.
She's got my vote.
But stay tuned. And every week leading up to the competition, they will be releasing the new contenders on their Instagram page because, of course, these marmots have their own Instagram page as well.
It's all for a good cause. All right, thank you, Kaylee. Well, she's sticking around to cover Prop Start for Carson this morning. But first, a check of the weather from Angie, who's in for Al this morning.
I love being on this show. You learn something new every day, guys. Yes. Let's talk about what's happening weather-wise with those Canadian wildfires. Notice across parts of the Pacific Northwest, we've still got these air air quality alerts. Much of that smoke kind of working its way south and east. So anywhere from Montana to Georgia, you'll notice kind of a hazy layer of smoke in the air. That's going to be something that you'll have to deal with through at least today, probably through the end of the week as well. Big picture look otherwise, a little bit of sunshine for the Great Lakes. We don't have any relief just yet for that heat across the south. You'll still see the temperatures into the 90s and 100s there. Some afternoon thunderstorms to dodge across parts of the southeast, and that heavy rain still sticking with us across parts of the northeast. That'll be with us with that flood concern at least through the day today. If you're looking for a little sunshine across the west, you've got it for the west coast. We'll see that flood risk, though, across parts of the Rockies. That's a look at the weather across the country. Let's see what's happening in your neighborhood. And that's a look at your forecast, ladies.
All right, thank you, Angie. Kaylee's back with our Pop Start sneak peek.
Still here, guys. Still here. Hey, after a surprise appearance at the World Cup final, everyone's favorite coach is back for another season. Yesterday, Apple TV dropped a new trailer for the return of Ted Lasso. And this time around, Ted heads back to Richmond to take on coaching the women's soccer team. And, of course, reunite with his old friends.
Oi, welcome back. It's good to see you. You too.
3, 2, 1.
But football is life?
No, life is so much more than football.
Not as catchy, but true.
Ted Lasso is premiering on August 5th.
We love
It's
Ted
so
Lasso, and I
wholesome.
love that they're doing this now for season 4. I love it.
I'm not sure what warms your heart more, the Marmots or Ted Lasso. I think I'm going with Ted Lasso.
The Mumford and Sons soundtrack
so
underneath.
no.
So good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kayla. We're going to get to the rest of Pop Start, but first, let's look ahead to the Boost. Hey, Jenna.
Hi. All I can say is this one features the distinct voice of an adorable little girl, and it's wicked good. Right after this.
We are back at 7:50 with Jenna's Morning Boost.
Okay, morning, guys. Do y'all ever worry that your kids are picking up on your behaviors? I do a little. Well, one little girl is going viral for taking after her mom in one very specific way, inheriting her Boston accent. And let's just say Dad isn't too thrilled.
What's this? What's this?
Harbor.
It's actually harbor. Harbor.
Don't correct her. She's saying it good. It's harbor.
Harbor.
Yeah, good job, honey.
No, this is a.
That's cute. That's cute.
Isn't that so cute? It's hilarious what we inherit.
Exactly.
Seriously. I need to hear you say "pock the car."
You know, and it's also hard when your kids don't, like, my kids don't have the y'alls.
Yeah.
I gotta just, like.
They might pick it up from you.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I go in while they sleep.
Whisper in their ear. I love it. And just ahead, could another Home Alone be in the works with Macaulay Culkin returning? We will tell you what we know on Pop Start.
Plus, we're going to join our Plaza crowd for a special concert today from Mumford and Sons. But first, your local news. It is 8 o'clock on Today. Coming up, extreme conditions, relentless rain and flash floods battering the Northeast as ground stops at major airports cause travel troubles coast to coast.
We were supposed to leave at 5 o'clock. We're now leaving at 10.
And 75 million Americans waking up to high heat alerts across the country. We've got your latest forecast. Then, aftermath. Rescue operations are still underway in Japan after that deadly earthquake, leading to hundreds of thousands of evacuations. The race to find survivors continuing. The details just ahead. And heart health. A potentially life-saving treatment for tens of millions of Americans living with high blood pressure. What you need to know just ahead. All that plus star power. Simone Biles' sunglass search.
Yo, can I get those YSLs back?
Home Alone again. And Mumford and Sons here for a special midweek concert. It's all coming up today, Wednesday, July 29th, 2026.
We love Mumford and Sons.
Traveled from Windermere, Florida, Cincinnati, Ohio,
celebrating our 40th wedding anniversary.
Hi, all the friends in Pittsburgh. Love you, Jessica and Jackie. Today's our first concert. We're ready for Mumford & Sons.
Oh, we love it. Welcome back to today. We certainly appreciate you being with us on this Wednesday morning. Hallie Jackson is helping us out. Savannah's on assignment for NBC. Craig is missing this crowd. I mean, these folks have been lined up. It was raining earlier.
They were still chugging this line.
They had their ponchos on,
Amazing.
but now it looks like, you know, we're going to get a break from the rain so we can have a good time.
And they're from all over. I mean, people came from everywhere to be here, to see Mumford & Sons. I'm super psyched.
Yeah, it's going to be a good day. All right, looking ahead to tomorrow on Today, Priscilla Thompson is hitting the road to check out a growing trend. Young women driving a demand for 90s-era SUVs, even restoring, look at this, vintage Broncos and old-school Jeeps themselves. So we'll have more on that tomorrow. But right now, let's get to your news at 8. And yes, we begin with that severe summer weather, torrential rain pummeling the Northeast overnight, flooding streets across the region. The water reaching waist high in some areas. The storms also prompting ground stops at major airports from Washington, D.C. to Boston, with more than 10,000 flight disruptions. And the threat isn't over. More than 13 million people remain under a flood watch. Weekend Today meteorologist Angie Lassman is tracking that all for us this morning. Hey, Angie.
Hi there, guys. Good morning. We unfortunately still are dealing with some bumpy weather across parts of New England. We've seen some improvements from New York to points south. Of course, that's going to help in some of those areas that saw ample amounts of rain yesterday, but not so much across New England. Notice where these flood watches are in effect. 13 million people, including Kingston, Hartford, stretching down to the coast. This is going to last at least through the day today as this same system kind of spins a little farther to the north and east, keeping that intense rain in the picture for parts of New England. By the time we get into tomorrow, some improvement. I think our flooding concern will ease, but we'll still see some of these kind of lingering showers across northern parts of New England. Between now and then, picking up multiple more inches of rain. We already saw same kind of story yesterday, so this is not great for those saturated ground, saturated waterways. We've got the potential to see upwards of 5 inches in some of these spots, so still the concern for flooding at least through the day today. Looking at your heat alerts, expansive, of course, across the South is where you'll find most of those, but 73 million people in total across the country included in those alerts as we gear up for a really another steamy kind of day. Triple digits across parts of the Southwest, 113 by the time we get to Friday in Las Vegas, 100 degrees plus in Dallas through at least the next couple of days. That's not even adding on the humidity levels. We'll see the 90s on tap for Galveston and Memphis all the way through the end of our work week. So some warm and steamy kind of summer-like temperatures still in the picture, and we potentially, ladies, could see some record highs as well.
We'll be watching that. Angie, thank you. Now to those devastating wildfires in France. Officials ordering 4,000 more people to evacuate from tourist sites along its Atlantic coast, as the heat now returning is threatening to erase the progress firefighters have made. I want to bring in Raph Sanchez, who's on the front lines now outside Bordeaux in France with the very latest. Raph, good morning.
Hallie, good morning. We're outside one of the mobile command centers where the battle against the flames is being coordinated. You can see these officers poring over a map here. One of the commanders told us there is pretty much fire in every direction around this town. Earlier, the flames were just a mile that way. You can really smell the smoke here. There is good news and there is bad news in terms of the fight to contain the fire here in the greater Bordeaux region. Good news. Fire crews are saying over the last 3 nights, they have stopped this fire from getting any bigger. Bad news, it is already in the mid-90s here. Very, very hot. That means more dry kindling, more fuel for the flames. And it is a similar situation down in Spain. They are facing extreme heat. They are facing very strong winds as they confront what is now the biggest fire in Spanish history. It's burning west of Madrid. And the evacuations are continuing across Europe. You mentioned 4,000 people ordered to evacuate around here from tourist sites along the Atlantic coast. And pretty much every firefighter in France is involved in the effort here. But this is a battle that is far from over. Hallie.
Sounds like it. Raph, thank you.
To Japan now. Soldiers and emergency workers are combing through a badly damaged shopping mall, searching for survivors after yesterday's powerful earthquake. The mall's second floor collapsed after an explosion that was likely caused by a gas leak. The death toll from the magnitude 7.1 quake rose overnight to at least 18 people. The number of people who are missing still unclear. The quake ruptured roads and bridges and left thousands of homes without power.
Difficult scene there. To the emotional new tributes now to longtime Senator Lindsey Graham, with family, friends, world leaders all honoring his life and legacy at 2 ceremonies in Washington yesterday. Kelly O'Donnell is joining us with more. Kelly, good morning.
Good morning, Hallie. Today, the farewells for the late Senator Lindsey Graham return to his home state of South Carolina, where the citizens he represented can pay their respects after top officials here in Washington and leaders from across the globe honored Graham's memory.
Remembered as a true American original.
And that can only be the one and only Lindsey Graham.
The life, public service, and quick wit of Senator Lindsey Graham, honored in Washington on Tuesday. From the U.S. Capitol, where he represented South Carolina for more than 30 years, to the National Cathedral, where President Trump recalled Graham as an advisor and friend.
He was a force of nature, and I will miss him greatly.
Graham's impact drew 2 wartime leaders, Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu and Ukraine's President Zelensky, who saw his hawkish advocacy for American allies firsthand. President Trump recalled how he and Graham started out as campaign rivals. Mr. Trump had even publicly announced Graham's personal cell phone number.
I don't know if it's the right number. Let's try it. It was Lindsey who had the last laugh because while I blew up his phone for one day, we became great friends, and Lindsey did not stop calling me for the next 10 years. It was not easy.
Graham's sudden passing at age 71, opening an unexpected door for the sister he stepped in to raise after their parents died, Darlene Graham, who replaced her brother in the Senate and now plans to run for a full Senate term. Emotional as she touched his flag-draped casket. Her daughter describing Lindsey Graham as the foundation of their family.
So I count my many blessings to have known him and loved him, and I rejoice in his memory. Today we celebrate a life well lived, a life well loved.
Today in South Carolina, Graham will be honored at the State House, followed by a funeral at a Baptist church and private burial. His pastor summed up Senator Lindsey Graham's life and long public service, saying he was both very Washington and very hometown. Hallie?
Kelly O'Donnell, thank you.
Hawaii's Kilauea volcano is putting on a spectacular show again this morning. The eruption near the southeastern shore of the Big Island is sending fountains of lava more than 300 feet in the air. Kilauea has been erupting in a series of intermittent episodes since December of 2024. It remains one of the most active volcanoes in the world. My goodness, beautiful.
Sight, yeah.
All right, that's the news. Kaylee?
We got a jam-packed pop star coming up for you guys. So Simone Biles has 11 Olympic medals, but it sounds like she could use a new pair of sunglasses. And it's all because of that little talked about Swift-Kelsey wedding. We've got that and more on Pop Star.
Plus, Dr. Azar is here shining a light on heart health and some new help for millions of Americans who may not know they're living with high blood pressure. But first, these messages.
We are back at 8:14 with Your Health and a closer look at a new study that's out this morning in the Journal of the American Heart Association.
Researchers taking a look at the latest guidelines found that nearly 1 in 3 adults with high blood pressure may now be eligible for medication to improve their overall health.
So here to break it all down is NBC News medical contributor Dr. Natalie Azar. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
First things first, I think this is just so important because we underestimate how high blood pressure leads to obviously so many issues.
So many things.
Yeah, so let's dig into these new findings. What do we need to know?
Okay, so as we said in the introduction, this was basically an analysis of guidelines that came out last summer, new blood pressure guidelines. And the researchers were basically interested in 2 things. One, how many people who have high blood pressure are actually getting treated for it? And secondly, if guideline eligible people are being treated, how many deaths could be prevented? So this is what they found.
Okay.
81 million people in the United States by definition, have high blood pressure. That's a blood pressure of greater than 130/80. Of those 81 million, close to 23 million are eligible for medications, but look at this, almost half remain untreated in spite of these new guidelines. And experts say in the next 10 years, if those guideline-eligible people are being treated, we could prevent 162,000 cardiovascular deaths.
Yeah, that's
pretty
incredible.
astounding numbers. Yeah.
One of the things, we were talking about this earlier too, it can be kind of confusing, right? When you go to the doctor and you're like, okay, what do I need to know? What do I need to do? And what's interesting about this, there's this sort of score. It's like a number that you can get that helps you figure out your own risk level.
Yes. So this is something called the PREVENT score, and it's really a hot topic amongst cardiologists, but also a really great tool for primary care doctors to be able to use to personalize your treatment and kind of like give you a better risk assessment of where you stand with your high blood pressure. So the PREVENT stands for Predicting Risk of Cardiovascular Disease Events. And it's basically for adults aged 30 to 79 who have high blood pressure but no known cardiovascular disease. And it calculates a 10 and 30-year probability of having an event. Oh, what does that all mean? So I decided to put my numbers in because I was like, sometimes a visual is worth 1,000 words. So you put things in like your age, your BMI, are you on a statin? When I did this, I actually accidentally put that I was male, but my producer fixed that. And then you put your blood pressure in there.
And you can do this yourself?
You can do this. I did this all myself with a couple of labs that I knew and a recent, blood pressure check that I had.
And it gives you your results?
And there's my results. So my estimated 10-year risk of having a cardiovascular event is 1.3. That's very, very low. Now, look, I don't have high blood pressure, so that's probably why my number was so low. But if my blood pressure was 130/80 or higher, and that 1.3% was over 7.5%, I would be a candidate for treatment. So this whole thing is basically like, if you're 140/90 or higher, people are going to want you on blood pressure medicine. But what if you're in that range of 130/80 to 140/90? That's where this risk calculator really comes in to say, do you need to be put on medication? If you're above 7.5%, the answer is yes. If you're below 7.5%, you can try lifestyle interventions before treatment.
I was going to ask you about that. I feel like growing up, high blood pressure was almost kind of normalized.
Right.
It was like, oh, you have your high blood pressure, oh, my, and it's like, but we lose sight of, how it could save your life. It's either you take meds or change your lifestyle. So what are some changes that we can all do?
I really want to reemphasize this too. Hypertension, high blood pressure is the most important modifiable risk factor for heart disease. Okay? Like cholesterol, family history, it's high blood pressure. So what can you do besides the medication or in addition to medication? A well-balanced diet. We've heard this all before, right? The DASH diet, dietary, ways to prevent hypertension, increasing regular physical activity, getting adequate sleep, managing stress. We're going to tease that up for the 9 o'clock, and limiting alcohol. But these things are so important and they are part of the treatment regimen. It's not just all about medications, but I think this tool is useful. I'm glad to feel like you can go on and you can do it yourself, but talk to your doc about it because that's how they're going to risk stratify you so that you're not one of those 9 million who aren't getting treated, and we bump that up to people who really can benefit from medical management.
It's good.
Yeah, important on the heart health piece. Dr. Natalie, thank you so much.
It's time for a pop start and for Carson today.
Look at all of us in our neutral denims and neutral, as far as I'm concerned. So first up, Simone Biles. The Olympic icon was part of the exclusive group at MSG earlier this month for that very special wedding. And while she was celebrating her friends, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, her sunglasses went missing. Biles was speaking at an event earlier this week, and she revealed she thinks a different pop star could have made off with them. She's calling out Avril Lavigne, and Simone is reaching out to get those shades back.
Instagram her and be like, yo, can I get those YSLs back? But I don't think she's seen it yet.
So Avril, if you see this, check your DMs.
Were they at a table and accidentally she picked up the wrong one?
Because who doesn't need their sunglasses inside Madison Square Garden?
I didn't think about that.
It was an early wedding. It was and very hot.
And they had to be there early to get in line for the festivities. Next up, Home Alone. There is some big news about the Christmas classic, and it may have you feeling like this. You knew that was coming. So a potential new Home Alone movie with OG star Macaulay Culkin could be in the works. According to Puck's Matt Bellany, Culkin has met with Disney about rebooting the beloved franchise, and Culkin's pitch would have him, of course, reprise his role as Kevin McAllister. While details are limited, the stars previously talked about his idea for a reboot revolving around Kevin as a single dad whose kid locks him out of the house.
I love that. Literally, I'm like the perfect demographic for this. I could recite every word to the original. I hope they do it.
He's got to bring back the scream too.
That would be good.
He's going to have
I bet you they do, and it'll be his son.
Yes. Give the people what they want.
Yes.
And next up, Tom Holland. The Odyssey star is the latest guest to stop by Celebrity Substitute, drop in and teach a class. While Tom and his partner Zendaya had not confirmed their official relationship status, we all know kids say the darndest things. So watch what happened as one student took it upon himself to get to the bottom of this.
Are you married?
That is a very important question, and I am. You guys obviously haven't been media trained like the publicists that I speak with.
This is Victor, and he's never heard of a publicist.
He's definitely married. I don't know why he avoided my question.
Future journalist.
I know. There you go.
And Tom stopped by Seth Meyers last night, and looks like we have a clear answer.
I spend a lot of my day like watching YouTube and podcasts on Spider-Man content, and my wife is less patient about it. I think because I'm not in the film or connected to it anyway, she feels like it's a waste of time.
Yeah, my wife is in the film.
Yeah, so that helps.
There you go. Those kids asking the questions that nobody else wants to.
You know he loves. Remember when you got my wife, my husband. People love.
They've nodded.
Yeah.
They've nodded. And next up, how about Cat's Eye? So we talked about the global girl group's new song "Animal" on Friday. If you missed it, here's a taste. There's an unexpected face behind that track. After being a fan of the band, Grammy winner Ed Sheeran actually reached out to Cat's Eye and wrote the song for the group. Yesterday, he shared a sneak peek at the behind-the-scenes process.
I know you're out of control, but I see a side behind the closed doors. They get a glimpse here on the dance floor. You move like an animal.
As in, like, this is the only time that people ever see the side of you that I see. Every day.
This is really good.
He's so good. So good. And is this where we remind Ed Sheeran that Cat's Eye is going to be on our plaza August 14th if he'd like to stop by and join?
Let me tell you something, along with thousands of others. It is going to be packed. It's going to be a good Friday.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And next up, Matthew McConaughey. The Oscar winner has had a lot of quotable lines over the years, including this famous exchange after asking his passenger for a little something in Dazed and Confused.
No, not on me, man. It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Never gets old. Now we can exclusively announce that McConaughey's Pantalones Tequila and Yeti are teaming up to bring that quote to life, literally.
You may not be holding a delicious Pantalones margarita, but it'd be a lot cooler if you did.
That's why we're teaming up with the Yeti this summer to make the A Lot Cooler, specifically designed to carry Pantalones organic tequila.
Look, do you need to have one? No.
We realize some of you don't need a cooler.
But we made the A Lot Cooler if you did.
And the A Lot Cooler is available today. I think this collaboration's so smart. Yeti, I'm sure you know, Jenna. It's a Austin-based company.
Very
Texas up in here.
We'll take it.
Yeah,
Thank you, Kaylee. All right, just ahead, a live concert from these high-energy Grammy winners. A full half hour of hits from Mumford & Sons after your local news. Some of these guys were here lined up overnight. So thank you guys so much. How amazing are these guys? Marcus, Ben, and Ted. So good.
I have
to say, can we do this every Wednesday?
Yes. And a reminder for everybody, their newest album, Prize Fighter, it's available wherever you get your music. And be sure to catch Mumford & Sons on tour all across the country. They're on the backside of that tour, though, so you better hurry up.
I'm coming to Madison Square Garden. I can't wait. And they have one more song to go in our next hour. But first, your local news. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.